Welcome to Horror with Sir Sturdy, episode 1. I'm doing this episode with my brother Henry. We're just gonna have a random horror chat, and we can get we can get right into it. So, first of all, we've known each other for over 20 years, and I'm just gonna ask him right
away.
24?
Yeah, I think, give or take.
Sounds about right. So I'm just gonna ask you right away, Henry. I want you to just introduce yourself. Like, let us know what got you into horror, who got you into horror, and we'll go from there. So,
well, obviously my name's Henry. I think it goes back to when I was like 6 or 7 years old. I lived in California, and my mom and her friend, they would rent scary movies every weekend, and they would let me watch them, but as long as I didn't complain about being scared, which I always did, but still watched anyways. And then it pretty much just went from there.
That's cool. Any do you remember the first horror movie you've ever watched?
I think it was, I want to say American Gothic.
American Gothic? I've never seen it.
Yeah, if that's really not totally a horror movie. It's kind of like a who done it type of thing, like who's the killer? You know, there's no monster or ghost or anything like that.
So more like a So more like a thriller. I know horror and thriller go hand in hand, so maybe more like a thriller type of movie, in a sense, or. Yeah. I mean, I know you were a kid, so it's kind of hard to remember from back then.
Well, no, yeah, I've watched it. You know.
Okay.
Yeah, since then. Basically, it's these not teenagers, like 20-something-year-olds. They were boating. They were going somewhere, and their boat dies. They end up washing up on this island, and there's a family that lives there, but they're living like not in modern times. Like there's no electricity. The way they talk, the way they dress, it's all old.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, you got the mom, the dad, the creepy sister, the creepy brother. I think that's it. And the daughter keeps saying that she keeps talking about her baby throughout the whole movie, and you know.
Yeah.
The movie.
Is it worth a watch, or would you?
It's real.
Yeah.
It's pretty cheesy, but I think the ending kind of justifies it.
Okay.
Kind of like how Sleepaway Camp ended.
Oh my God! What a surprise! Listen.
It's not that bad.
Listen. For those of you who have never seen that movie, Sleepaway Camp, I'll say go watch it. Overall, it was actually a really good horror movie, and there is I wouldn't really call it a surprise at the end, because when I think of a surprise, I think of something that's good. But Henry told me, yo, watch this movie. Make sure you guys watch the whole thing. I was watching with my wife. And he said, there's a surprise at the end. And I'm not going to tell you the end just in case you haven't seen the movie. But I wouldn't call it a surprise. I don't know what to call it. I just wouldn't call it a surprise. I'll say there's a shock at the end.
Like our alternate ending.
I mean, there's only one ending, but if you want to call it that, we can call it that.
There should have been a different ending where, like, it wasn't what it was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Without spoiling it. Like, and it was, like a cat leg or something, or, you know, something.
Yeah. I agree. Now, going off of that, because we've met Felicia a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
At Scaricon, right?
Yeah,
Twice? How many times? Yeah. This was our third year going, though, wasn't it?
Yes. So, we didn't go last year.
But yes, we should have. But we went to 2 years before, right?
Yeah.
And she wasn't there. She must not have been there the first year we were there, because she was there the year we stayed. Because remember, we stayed overnight one time.
Was she there the year? No, she was there the first time we went, and the third time.
Okay.
The second time time, it was Pinhead, Leatherface, but
Yeah.
Gunnar Hansen, who went ahead and died.
Yep. Which speaking of that con, every single con we went to, I'll start with ScaraCon. Those were real fun cons. I enjoyed them. We actually had well, I guess you guys are associates, friends. I don't know what you want to call it yet, but Rob went to his first con with us this year, and he'll be on this podcast. Actually, he's gonna be my next guest on the podcast. Yeah, next week, hopefully. And it was a good time. You know what was cool about having him go with us, and I'm sure me and him will discuss it next week, was like when you go with somebody like that to something that you all enjoy and like really have a passion for and love, and you see that person's face. That's because this was his first time going. Like I said, you see his face,
he was all about it.
And he was so excited, like happier than a kid on Christmas. And I remember when he was going to meet now chime in if you remember her last name, Caroline from Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. Thank you. Now, you remember when me and you were talking? I was like, look at him. I was like, white people stay turning red when they're excited and all this other stuff. And his face was beat red. He looked back at us. He's like, yo, you guys are some assholes. But it was...
He looked like a cherry blow pop for shoulders.
It was such a good time. It was such a fun time. I kind of wish he was here now to defend himself, but he'll hear it.
Hear about it
later. Yeah, I'll show him it next week. This isn't... Everybody knows, like I said, this isn't going to be out till January. But, it was the thing that sucked. The only thing that sucked about that whole trip, which is kind of funny now, is I had the little recorder. We were having a great conversation on the way there. We had like an hour in.
Yeah, pretty much. All the way up to when we had to stop the gas.
Yeah, and I didn't save it. Like, I didn't know I had to hit. I have a little recorder my wife got me, a little voice recorder, and we were using it to record. We were just having a conversation, a horror conversation, and that was originally going to be our first episode for the podcast. And when we got to the rest stop to get gas and all that stuff and go pee-pee, I turned it off, and I was like, okay, cool. We'll continue the conversation when we start driving again. So we did, recorded, get to the place. I turned it off again. Later on that night, when I get home, I'm going to play it back, and there's nothing. And I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, I know there should be something on here. I know I hit record. So I'm looking at it. I look at the side of it, right? Or no, sorry, the back of it. The back, there's like a little switch, the record switch that you hit up. When you push it down, it saves. But instead of pushing that switch back down, I was hitting the other switch, the power switch, off and on, off and on. And that sucked. But I guess it's a funny story, so you guys can all laugh at my expense. Sir Sturdy messed up. I apologize. It won't happen again.
It happens.
It happens. But getting back into this, let's get back into this horror talk a little bit. So with these cons that we went to, who was your try not to say that so much. Who was your favorite person to meet? So to
out of everyone I've ever met.
I know it's a tough question because it's tough for me. For me,
no, it's not.
No? Oh,
actually.
Shit. Well, okay.
The voice of the Crypt Keeper.
No, oh, he was awesome. It was
fucking awesome. He was great.
And what the cool thing about that was because he did, like, the whole time he was talking to us, and I wish I could have recorded this. Next time if I ever meet him again, I will. He was talking in the Crypt Keeper voice the whole freaking time, laughing, everything.
Remember I told him how he used to scare the shit out of me. He was
with that laugh?
And he said it in the voice. Yeah, he said, thanks for letting me be in your nightmares.
Oh, that was awesome.
Saying it in the voice.
That was awesome. Classic. So is that okay? You know what? I'm gonna ask you this question. Let's say top 3 to 5, if you can think of everybody's names that you've met. I know he's number 1, so let's say the rest of them for you.
1, 2.
While you're thinking about it, though.
Actually, no. Number 1 would be the creator of the Ninja Turtles. Even though that's not horror, but.
Oh.
The number 2.
Kevin Eastman. Okay, well, all right, I'll say this. Let's put Kevin Eastman. He's like, because you said it's not horror, so let's say the horror celebrities you've met. But let's say Kevin Eastman's like, he's on a level by himself because we almost cried meeting him. I'm not even gonna front. I think you got a little teary eyed. I seen a little water in your eyes.
Well,
Hey,
you know, there's a lot of dust in the air.
yeah, hey man,
You know?
yeah, and you have allergies. I know.
I'll
Me
be
too.
hydrated.
Before we get into this horror thing even more, I want to say one thing that I do, and I just mentioned this to actually another friend who's going to be on, if not next week, because I might do 2 episodes next week. If not next week, the week after. And I promise you, after I say this, we'll get back into our horror thing. But the thing that I was like, I thought this was real awesome what you did, and I'll never forget it, is when we went to go meet Kevin Eastman and all that. Remember how I forgot my book?
Mm-hmm.
And I had to go all the way back home to get it. And you did not go up there and get his autograph or even get close to him and smell him or whatever. That's weird, but until I got there, that right there is dope. And I don't remember if I thanked you for it, but thank you for that. That's awesome. That's a true friend right there. That's a brother right there. Like,
yeah, no, that's all right. No homo.
all right, now back to the horror thing. You said your number one was the Crypt Keeper. I'll say my number one, which I hope you get to meet him, was Kane Hodder.
Yeah,
We'll go back and forth.
Really want to.
We'll go back and forth with this. My number one was Kane Hodder, and the cool thing about meeting Kane Hodder was like when we were waiting in line, we get up there, and this was at Monster Mania out in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Bam Margera walks in the side door to come in, and Kane was like, "Hey, listen," he's like, "Can you please wait a minute? I'm gonna go over there and choke Bam." And he went over there. He said hi to him. He went over there. He said hi to him or whatever, and he really did choke him. And then they talked for a minute. He came. Yeah, he probably did. He came back over. He talked to me for a few minutes. He was so freaking cool. I got another thing to tell you about Kane Hodder, but he was so freaking cool. And he's like my favorite. He's probably my favorite horror icon. Like, for those of you who don't know, Friday the 13th is like my favorite. Slasher. My favorite horror slasher. And anyway, came back over, signed a machete for me, signed a machete for you that I brought back for you. I didn't pay for it though. He sent me money. And I took a picture with him, and he's choking me in the picture. That was so damn cool. Like,
you could visibly tell like you were running out of air.
Yes. I say if you meet Kane Hodder, for those of you who love horror as much as I do and as much as Henry does, get choked by Kane Hodder. Just let him choke you. And
rite of passage.
he was a real friendly guy though. Like I don't remember the conversation. This was a few years ago, but I talked to him for a few minutes. He signed my stuff, and
he stopped. I'm going to cut you off, but he stopped choking people for a while. I was reading his book.
I want to get his book.
He stopped choking people for a while because he had choked this guy in a wheelchair. I guess he did it for too long or something. He passed out or ended up with like some kind of throat or neck injury or some shit like that.
Damn, that's unfortunate. I want to get his book, by the way.
Awesome.
I definitely want to get his book, and I want to get his. When I get his book, if I meet him again, I'm definitely gonna get that signed. And then
I have a digital copy of it on my e-reader.
Yeah, but I'm sure if you had a chance to get the hard copy and you knew you were gonna meet him, you'd get that signed. Quicker than a goose can say goose. But another funny thing. Here's a funny thing about Kane Hodder. This is just a quick little tidbit. Same con. I was in the bathroom, and I was going boop. I was taking a boom boom. Number 2, if you don't know what a boom boom is. And Kane Hodder came in the bathroom, and I don't know if he was really standing next to this guy or not at the urinal, but he looked. All I heard was Kane Hodder say is, "Nice cock." I started laughing my ass off. Like, I was dying. I didn't know what to do but laugh. He didn't say it to me. I was in the the little stall thing doodling. But I was thinking to myself, as a matter of fact, I think after I got out of the bathroom, I called you and I told you about it laughing. And my question to you right now is, so the people can hear it. You're at a urinal taking a piss. say Kane Hodder's standing next to you. Say he doesn't really look over. I'm sure he didn't really look over, but he says to you, "Nice cock." My first question is, what do you do? That's my first question for you. Wow. Okay. Wow.
Or the option B, just thank you. You know.
I would probably laugh. I don't know if I'd say thank you or not. It might, but I don't.
It will get weird quick because, like, if he says yeah, then like,
oh yeah,
then he has to do it, and then instead of choking you.
Oh God, no. Let's just leave that there. I would laugh.
Yeah.
I'd probably just laugh, honestly. Now, my second question to that, part B, is, and this is for everybody listening, every guy listening, you know, what would you do? And then my second question to that is, would you tell anybody? I think I would.
You, to people that would appreciate it.
You would probably, like, I didn't know Rob at the time, but I know him now. And he's also a big Jason, like, that's his favorite, you know. As far as the horror icons, that's like his favorite. Yeah. So I would tell you guys, I would definitely tell you two first, and I'd probably I would share it on the podcast. Like, listen, this is what happened. It's not gay because it was Kane Hodder. You know, there's certain things. But yeah, so
Mexican rules in prison. It's not gay. It's in prison.
It's still gay, but nah. But all right, so your number one was as far as the horror icons we met was the Creep Show guy. Mine was Kane. Who's your number two?
I forget what her name is. From the original Fright Night.
Okay.
The guy's girlfriend. She was in Married with Children. She was a neighbor.
Oh, the blonde-haired lady.
Yeah, the blonde-haired. Her name is Judy something.
What's the movie again?
I packed away all my autographs, but
Fright Night, you said?
Fright Night, yeah. And she's like, well, you know, I was a little starstruck, you know, I was nervous. And she goes, she's like, what do you want me to write? I'm like, I don't know. What do you want me to write?
Wow.
And, there's this, after she turns into a vampire, she turns to her boyfriend, who's been trying to bang her the whole movie. She goes, what's the matter? Don't you still want me? But she said that, and then she said Henry, and I'm like, yeah, that worked.
You sure her name?
She's a lesbian now. I mean, the haircut and the New Balance she was wearing kind of gave it away. But
what year did the movie come out? Is it like old?
Year 85, 87. You
sure her name was Judy?
Maybe.
Because I have Amanda Burse.
Yes.
Amanda Burse is her name. I just looked it up on my tablet. I just figured, you know.
There you go.
I'm going to have to say my number two, this is tough. I'm going to say Felicia Rose, just because she was so freaking nice. Like, real friendly, real chatty with us both times we met her, which was awesome.
I mean, some people are friendly, just don't seem like they want to be there.
Yeah.
You know, she genuinely seems like she's having a good time.
And she always had a smile on her face. And I'm going to call you out on this, Henry. I have to.
Because she was drunk.
That's fine.
No, she was having fun.
I don't know how she wasn't your... I understand. I don't know how she wasn't your number one. I'll say number two at least, because when me and you went there the first year, we walked past her table about 8 times before you would stop and get her autograph. So...
on some creeper shit.
I do not know why she is not higher on your list. I don't know if she's on your top 5, but I'm just saying why she's not your number 2. Let's say that.
I don't know why.
That's... I just had to bring that up.
I think it's because like meeting her. I mean, the first time I watched Sleepaway Camp, I was 6 years old.
Okay.
You know, so it's been I watched it so many times. So from then to those couple of years ago, and then finally meeting her, it was like, oh, there she is.
Yeah. You know? Yep. All right. Who's your number 3?
Number
Again, this is if you had to choose.
Many people.
I know, it's tough, and it's
Bonnie.
like, huh?
Bonnie Adams,
What's she
the
from?
nun from The Conjuring 2.
She was freaking awesome, man. She was
Yeah.
awesome. She was, and what I liked about her was like, she really appreciated the fans going there and talking to her. Like, she talked to us for a few minutes, and the picture with her was fun because remember how she did the nice smile and then she did like the creepy face with us after that? She was awesome. I'm trying to think. She might be my number 3 also, but I'm trying to think because there was a you know what? I'm gonna put her. Yeah, I think I'm gonna put her as my number 3. Before this episode's over, if I change it, I'll change it. But right now, I think she's my number 3 because I like the ones that are real, like interacting.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna jump.
Interested in meeting their fans and talking to the fans.
Exactly. And I'm gonna throw this one out there. You weren't at this one. This was the Monster Mania thing, but Brad Dourif, however you say his name.
Yeah.
He was not very friendly. Now, maybe he was having a bad day. I don't want to sit here and say bad things about the guy, but he didn't seem too happy to be there. Like, I'll say this. If it was me going up to get his autograph, the attitude that I got from him, I would have said, you know what? Never mind. Only because Chucky's an iconic movie.
Oh, yeah.
Child's Play. He's an iconic. Sorry, Chucky's an iconic character, but just like the way he just came off, like I don't really want to be here type of deal. Like I'm just here for the money. That kind of attitude, I wasn't feeling it. But I got, you gave me the money to get his autograph for you, so I was like, I'll get it, and I did it. But yeah, he was. I'm sure I'm sure he's probably not like that at every single con, and maybe that's just his personality. Like, I'm sure he's not a jerk. It could just be his personality. I don't know, so I don't want to sit here and say if you see this guy, for anybody listening, if you meet this guy, do not get his autograph because, like I said, that day I might not have, but if I met him again, I'd probably get his autograph because it's Chucky. It's fucking Chucky, so it's like, why not? Okay, so our 3s are done. Who's your number 4? And you know what? I'm going to say my number 4, even though I didn't get this guy's autograph, but he was cool. We conversated with him and all that, and I got you a good deal on the mask and the autograph and all that. Was, I don't know his name. Eugene Clark? Big Daddy? No homo?
Yeah, honestly, he wouldn't even be on my list because, like, it was cool meeting him, but, like, all he wanted to do was talk about money.
That's true, too.
Like, that just trying to sell me shit.
But I don't know what it was.
He was cool, though.
That's what it was with me. But he was. I just can't. You know what it is too is I can't think of a 4th one right now. I don't have I wish I had like a list in front of me. I can't think of you know what? No, scratch that. I'm sorry. I'm taking him off my list. Ari was my 4th. What's his last name? Played the first Jason.
Lehman.
Ari Lehman. And I'll say that because Lehman, yeah. He was the first horror. I'll say he's an icon because he played Jason, even though he played him as a child. He wasn't in the movie much, but he was so happy to see us. Like the con was just about over, and he was still talking to it. Like we talked to that guy for probably about 20 minutes or more. I'm not even exaggerating. Maybe even a half hour.
He cut us a deal on the machetes.
He cut us a deal on the machetes. We got an autographed picture of him for free. Remember that the pictures were free. He hooked us up with the machetes. Like I think he did the autographs with the machetes, $20 a piece. The pictures were free, and this was at a con in Albany called FantaCon. Yeah. That's also where we met Kevin Eastman. No more talk about Kevin Eastman though, but this was like a comic / horror type of thing. It was like a random mix-up one.
Yeah, it's like a pop culture.
There you go. But he was really, really, really cool. And if the nun wasn't so cool from The Conjuring 2, he would be my 3rd. But he was so cool, and like I know some people will say he overdoes it with the whole first Jason thing, but when you meet the guy, it's like, yo, it works. He was the first Jason, and he's really, 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 really cool. Like he's so friendly. He loves the fans. He loves to give you your autograph and just talk and just have a good time. He's probably a cool person. He's probably a fun person to hang out with, honestly.
Yeah, like we were talking about death metal bands because he has his band.
Yeah, and he has his own hot sauce. Which, if I meet this gentleman again, I'm gonna get that hot sauce. I have to, or I'll buy it online. But I'm hoping I meet him again because we met him twice.
You ever go to his website? He's got all kinds of random shit on there, like Jason Pipes.
Yeah, we met him twice though, because we met him at Scaricon the first or second time we went, and I got first time, and I got another autograph picture of him. The first autograph I got, I can't remember what the picture was, but I got 2 autograph pictures of him. Or no, sorry, no, I didn't. I got an autograph picture of him, and then I have the screen grab figure, where he's jumping out the water for the boat, the chick in the boat. I have that signed from him. That's what it was. Okay, so that's my number 4. Who's yours?
4. Thanks. I don't know. We met so many people.
Yeah, we did. Doug Bradley was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Bill Moseley was cool.
Bill Moseley, yeah.
And so was...
Yeah, he gave us some of his cookies, remember? Yeah, Fig Newton.
Yeah. Who did...
There was weed in him.
You know who else was really cool? And I wish I would have got his autograph and a picture with him was, I don't know his last name. And I'm mad I didn't see the movie. I think he was in Devil's Rejects. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but the Sid guy... He was actually doing his voice and saying his part from the movie to you when you were getting his autograph.
Yeah.
I think that would be my number 5. Maybe. Just because that's what's like the most recent to me right now. He was real cool.
Yeah, that's Bill Moseley,
No,
yeah.
not Bill Moseley. Not Bill Moseley. Sid. The guy who...
yeah. Oh, yeah, that was awesome.
And, that was...
Sid Haig, I believe.
Sid Haig? Okay. This last con we went to, it was real fun. I mean, all the other ones we went to, how many did we go to so far together? We went to, that me and you went to, I mean.
3, 4, 5, 6.
6?
Yeah.
I feel like, as far as like with the guests we met and the interaction with the guests, this last one might have been the best one as far as the interactions with the guests, or with whatever you want to call them, with the stars.
Yeah.
But overall, I had a great time at every single one. Obviously, I know you did as well.
No doubt.
Now, so who's your you already know I personally know this, but again, this is for the listeners. Your favorite slasher, like your favorite slasher icon, let's say. Who is that?
That's Freddy.
Freddy? Can I ask?
Yeah.
No, fuck that. I'm not even gonna say. Can I ask why?
He has personality.
Okay.
Like, he'll kill you, but he'll bust your balls and talk shit about you while he's killing you.
Understandable.
Like, that's just adding insult to injury. Fucking shut up and kill me.
I think. See, that's cool. And me, I never really thought about it till just now. Why I'm such a huge fan of Jason. I think just because he's so damn brutal. And some of his kills are they're just brutal. Like he really doesn't give a damn. He's about his business, and he just does his thing. Like he's supposedly from a.
He goes out of his way.
Yes, he does.
When he threw somebody out of a window and then pulled them back in. You could tell he was mad.
He has a bad attitude.
Oh my God! That was the thing about Kane Hodder is like he can show emotions and anger through his actions without even saying a word.
That's awesome.
Saying facial expressions.
He was just, and don't get me wrong. I feel like every single person that's played Jason, especially when he's donned the mask and started his real killing spree. I'll even say when he had the burlap sack. I feel every single person that played him did a good job, but Kane was just on another level. That's my opinion. Kane was just like, and what it is with Kane is because I've seen him in other horror movies. And like even the horror, the spoof movie, that was hilarious. Trying to think
I
what the
forgot
hell.
about that.
Smothered. That was awesome. It was funny. And you know what made me funny, or sorry, what made me laugh about it was like instead of Jason mask, wasn't his name like Mason or something?
It was Mason, yeah.
That was hilarious. And they had like a hockey mask, but it was like a bootleg Jason mask.
Yeah, they all played mock versions of
their
characters they're known for playing.
Yeah, I was gonna say they play like a knockoff of their iconic roles, which I thought was cool and funny. And what made this movie good to me, and I should get this movie, but what made the movie good and funny to me was it was the actual actors from the original, from the actual movies. It wasn't something like, a spoof movie with just random people in it. It was these guys spoofing their own stuff in a sense,
making fun of themselves.
Yeah, it was cool.
I mean, the movie centered around
a con.
They were,
That's
they weren't selling any autographs, so they went. It was supposed to make a haunted trailer park, right, or something like that. Yeah,
I think so. Yeah, it was good. It was good. So, what do you What is there any horror movie you're looking forward to that's coming up that's like not out yet that's coming out soon?
The third Conjuring movie.
I'm with you on that.
I read online. I don't know if it's true, but I hope it is.
Ja Rule's going to be in it?
I hope not. But Pet Sematary is supposed to be remade.
I seen that same thing, and again, don't quote me on this. I know I should have been more prepared, but this is a random horror combo. But isn't it the same people who made It, this past Stephen King's It from this year?
From the latest article I read, yeah.
Now that
the article I read was, you ever heard of Guillermo del Toro?
Nah, sounds like somebody who's on the other side. No.
He did, Kate Olsen, not Kate Olsen. Who's the chick that was married to Tom Cruise for a while?
I have no idea. Julia Roberts?
No, Kate
Upton?
Holmes?
Kate Upton? Katie Holmes? I don't know, man. I'm terrible with famous people's names that don't kill people in movies.
He has a certain style to his movies.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that he would do a really good job
doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that movie too. I'm also another movie I'm looking forward to. I'm just gonna name a couple. Strangers 2. The second Strangers movie.
Yeah.
I mean, it's called. I know it's not called Strangers 2. It's something else. I know we were discussing this.
In the dark or something along those lines.
I know we were kind of discussing this a little bit when I was doing the live feed last weekend, I believe, and you brought it up that it was like 9 years, since the last one came out.
Yeah, it's been quite a while.
Which I hope in the movie.
People wanted it.
Huh?
I mean, this was a movie that people wanted.
Yeah.
For quite a while.
Now with them waiting so long, what I'm kind of.
The movie I was thinking of. I'm gonna cut you off, but the movie I was thinking of is called "Don't Be Afraid of the Dark."
Don't Be Afraid of the Dark.
I recommend checking that out by Guillermo del Toro.
Okay.
I'll post it in there.
Yeah, that's one thing I was actually gonna say is you can either post it or text it. Yeah, matter of fact, post it and just say check this movie out or whatever. But back to the Strangers, the second one. What I'm kind of hoping they do in it is obviously it's gonna be another crazy killing spree. But I'm hoping is that they have something that looks back at the old movie in some sense, even if it's just like a newspaper clipping or some kind of reference, or like an internet, something online, some kind of reference, like say 10 years later, or even more than 10 years. That's fine, but I don't want it to be like just another random. Yeah, I would like it to be connected to the last one. I think that would help. That would be cool. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to the Halloween movie. I'm really looking forward to that, and I hope they don't mess it up because what they're supposed to be doing is, I'm sure you know,
Yeah.
it's supposed to be after part 2. So from the originals. Sorry about that. It's supposed to be from the originals, not the Rob Zombie remakes. It's supposed to be from the originals, and it's I forgot how part 2 ended, but it's supposed to be from like part 3.
Pick up where part 2 ended off.
Yeah, so the rest of them never even happened. They never, as far as this story goes, they never happened. And I hope they just knock it out of the park. Honestly, I hope they didn't mess it up. I hope they don't make it too cheesy. I hope they don't make it a lot of just goofiness, because that's one of those movies where, like, I mean, yeah, you had some laughs in it here and there, but it was more of like a serious horror movie.
If there was laughs, it was forced because
Yeah.
there wasn't much humor to speak of.
It wasn't like a Freddy movie. Nothing against Freddy. I'm a Freddy fan, but Freddy was like,
No.
Freddy was supposed to have laughter in it just because of his personality, like you said. But with this movie, I wanted it to be like how the originals were. How it was like, you know, it was a dark movie, and that's how they need to continue to make this movie. Don't make it all goofy and just don't mess it up with that. And with these new horror movies coming out, please do not have too much CGI in them. CGI works for some things, but if you overdo it, I feel like it screws up the movie. And sometimes if you do it in general, like I miss the old school movies that we grew up on from the 80s and 90s. I know you're
practical effects.
Yeah, yes.
And they really had to push forward. There's a lot of preparations. They actually put a lot of effort into getting those results.
Exactly.
You just appreciate it more, not just a couple clicks on a mouse. I mean, I understand. I'm sure that's hard to do too, but
oh yeah. But you know what it is too is like with the CG. Don't get me wrong, with CGI, with some stuff it looks amazing, but then I feel like sometimes it looks too. I don't know. I know this isn't a word. I'll say computery, like too. I can't really too animated. Maybe that's a better word than computery. But with the old school special effects, even though some of it looked real cheesy, like with the blood and stuff, I understand doing a little CGI with the blood or fixing it up a little bit with the blood. But a lot of it just looked really, really good with the props. It looked awesome. Like you don't really.
That's where the latest Walking or Evil Dead. They killed it because they hardly used any CGI.
Mm-hmm.
And that ending scene where it's literally raining blood,
mm-hmm.
and Mia is cutting that deadite in half with the chainsaw. That scene gave me a boner. It was fucking awesome.
That was an awesome scene.
Yeah.
That was fucking amazing.
Yeah,
actually.
That was all practical effect.
And you see, now with that right there, they can do that with a lot of movies, man. Like they can do that with so many movies. I understand CGI.
It takes longer.
Yes, it does take longer, and I understand that, and it probably costs. I'm guessing it might cost more if it takes longer with the props and stuff. I could be wrong. I'm not 100% sure, but it just feels like. Let me think of this real quick. It feels like with the CGI, not every single time. Again, CGI is great for some things, for a lot of things, I should say, but not for everything. But I feel like with some CGI stuff, it feels kind of rushed. Like, let me just throw this here, let me throw this there. I know it's not. I know it's a lot more work than that. We're kind of dumbing it down, but sometimes I feel like it feels rushed, and it's just not like that. It doesn't give you that oh shit, like holy shit, look what the fuck just happened type of reaction.
Right. I mean, and even some movies, they don't even show what's happening, and it's implied. Like, what was that, the first sleepaway camp, when Angela, she sneaks into the one cabin of the girl that's kind of like bullying her, and she takes a hot curling iron and shoves it up her cooch.
Ooh.
But once, there's not even a sizzle or anything. It's just applied in agony.
Yeah.
And maybe that's not what she does, but I'm pretty sure she did do that. And could have gone one or two places.
Mm-hmm. You're right about that.
Pink or a stink.
You're definitely right about that. But again, though, like, I just feel the special effects just have a different. You know what it is too, because we were born in '85. We were born in the '80s. We were brought up on the special effects where they didn't have all this technology out, so we have an attachment to that. That could be another thing to it, but it's just, I don't know. It just feels more. It feels more real. I now, don't get me wrong. I know these movies are all fake, but it just feels more real at times in a sense, and I love that fact about it.
Yeah.
So, shit. I want to keep this going because we're having a good conversation here. What are you watching this horror wise, if anything? Shows, movies, just to,
right now I'm catching up on Z Nation. I just started season 3.
Okay, now I've never seen Z Nation before in my life, so can you brush me up on that? And
basically,
hang on. Before that, and I'll make sure Christian cuts this part out. I gotta pause this real quick. I'm just gonna run downstairs and take a quick pee-pee. Thank you. All right, so you were saying about Z Nation?
Yeah, Z Nation. It's basically just your run of the mill zombies end of the world scenario. But with this show, they actually call them zombies, as if like they were known. And with The Walking Dead, the word zombies never used. Zombie movies don't exist in that show, but it's more of a comedy. So like saying The Walking Dead is serious, like George A. Romero's zombie movies.
Mm-hmm.
This show is funny, like Return of the Living Dead.
Nice.
It's serious, but it's still gory.
Nice. So I should probably check it out then, is what you're saying.
I think you would like it.
You think so?
Yeah, the difference with this story is you have all these survivors.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all, different personalities. You got your pretty girl, you got your ex-cop, different people like that.
Is it like the generic characters type of deal? Or
pretty much, yeah, and they acknowledge it.
Okay.
And there's zombie animals in it too.
Nice.
There's this one part where there's a zombie grizzly bear. It's fucking awesome. And then the zombies break into a Viagra place.
Mm-hmm.
And then the zombies are walking around with boners.
Wow.
Right, like this is the kind of show it is.
Zombie boners. I think that's gonna be the name of this episode, Zombie Boner.
What was that?
Talking to me or Rylan?
You.
No, I said since you said that, I think I'm gonna name this episode, even though it was only talked about for like 2 seconds, but this episode is gonna be named Zombie Boners. Just because, like that, yeah, that's something right there.
But the kicker with this show is, the virus is man-made. the virus is man-made,
mm-hmm.
and there's this one person that's immune to the virus called Murphy. They call him the Murphy. His name is Murphy.
The Murphy.
And they have to get him from, I think, Pennsylvania all the way to California. So the show is what happens to them from point A to point B.
Okay. I'm gonna have to check that. Is it on Netflix or anything, or do you know?
I don't know. I've been watching it on the Fire Stick.
Okay. I'm gonna have to give that a look. I'm gonna have to give that a check out. And
there is CGI in it, and it's terrible.
But it's probably supposed to be in this sense.
Yeah, I'm guessing. It's a sci-fi original.
Okay.
Don't expect anything like The Walking Dead. I know you don't like The Walking Dead. I'm pretty sure you'll like this show. There's more action in it. There's comedy.
Okay. I love comedy.
Yeah, I mean,
and
there's another part where there's there was a grow operation for weed,
Mm-hmm.
and then the people that were tending to it, they end up dying and they end up becoming fused with the weed plants, and people start smoking zombie weed. They call it Z-weed.
Z-weed. That's
Yeah.
you know what? I'm gonna check this show out. I'm gonna check it out pretty soon. Is there any movies you would recommend besides the one you named earlier? I don't remember what it was. Like I said, you can post it on there. I'll go through the episode and all that. But is there any movies you'd recommend?
On the page.
Oh, you did? Okay, cool. Is there any other Dead Alive?
Dead Alive, yeah.
Okay.
I've been trying to get you to watch that for years.
Did I ever watch it? I don't remember.
I don't think so.
I'll watch it. Dead Alive, I'll watch it.
You would remember. This was a movie we started watching after we went to Scaricon that one year, but we started drinking. We fell asleep.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
You know what? Next time I have you on, which I know you're going to be a guest on here multiple times / co-host, why don't we do that? There's 2 movies I want to do with you now. I want to do that clown movie I was telling you about before. I want to do that as far as like a review. Clown.
Mm-hmm.
I want to do like a review or whatever on that with you. And now I'll say Dead Alive. That'll be our second one. And I'm hoping, like, obviously we got to get we got to plan it out and stuff, plan it out with the wives and all that. But one of these times, I want to try to get you in my quote unquote studio, Sir Sturdy's Corner, and just do me and you do a podcast in person together. That would be pretty cool. But yeah, so definitely Dead Alive and the clown movie. And I mean, like you told me a few minutes ago, you have to go in about 10 minutes. I don't know how much time you have left, but if we have to end it here, if there's any last things you want to say, you can go ahead. Feel free to say it, and I'll close it out and, go from there.
There's a part in the Dead Alive movie where 2 zombies bang it out and have a baby.
Nice.
Yeah, that's the kind of movie that is. And it was Peter Jackson's first movie, the guy who directed the King of the Rings movies.
Okay.
Oh no, that was his second. His first movie was Bad News, I believe it was called.
So do me a favor, please. When you get a chance, could you put that Dead Alive movie on the page too? Just say, everybody should watch this. And, but
I'll do that tonight.
Okay, cool. I appreciate that. And like I said, well, thank you for being on the episode. I definitely really appreciate that. Hey, listen, I know. I got to get it. It's going to happen. January 2018, this will be dropped January 1st. After the ball drops, this drops. But again, I really, you don't know. It means a lot that you were on this episode with me, and it's fitting because we've been friends since the 2nd grade. We're brothers. We've been brothers since the 2nd grade, and it's fitting. I hope we have multiple more episodes together. I hope me, you, and Rob are on an episode together, and whoever else.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
So if you're listening to this episode, Facebook, go on Facebook. If you're on Facebook, Horror with Sir Sturdy. That's the group page. I'm going to put this out on Podbean. Right now, I'm not 100% sure what other podcast platforms it'll be on, but it'll be on Podbean, and the name is Horror with Sir Sturdy. Thank you for listening. I want to shout out a horror page because he allows me to share my stuff on his page, Joe's House of Horror. That's also on Facebook. Go check that out. I'm going to shout out another page. My friend Anthony Rossi, a personal friend, Video Game Crosstalk. Check out his page. Check out his podcast. He is also on Podbean. Joe, I forgot to mention this. He has a podcast. I know it's on. You just Google it because I forgot what it's on, actually. I'm sorry about that.
I think you can Google his name like that.
Yes, but his podcast is called 3 Guys That Horror. Go check that out. And he has an awesome page. It's like 4,000 people plus on there. So check his page out, Joe's House of Horror. Check out my page, Horror with Sir Sturdy. Check out my friend Anthony's page, Video Game Crosstalk. Again, thank everybody for listening. And this is the first episode of many, many episodes, and they will only get better as I get more practice with this, as we get more practice with this. And if you want to be on an episode, I'm going to tell you this. I post it on the page all the time, but to be on an episode, just email me with what you would want to talk about, whether that be a random horror conversation, which I'm cool with, or a movie. Email me at horror,
Zombie boners.
Yeah, zombie boners.
Zombie boners.
That's fine too. But email me at horror with Sir Sturdy. That horror, HORROR with Sir Sturdy at gmail.com. Again, that's horror with Sir Sturdy at gmail.com. With anything you want to discuss that has to do with horror on there. If you want to be a guest on my episode, on my podcast, I'm sorry. And again, thanks for listening. Have a great night, and